They came out in the millions, choking the streets and squares of cities across the country and filling the air with one simple chant: Irhal, leave. The message was directed at Egypt's first democratically elected president, Mohammed Morsi. Protesters like Fahad al-Tarzi accused him of pushing the Islamist agenda of his Muslim Brotherhood backers too far.
It's a theocratic government. Instead of being ruled by a political dictatorship, we're now being ruled by an Islamic dictatorship, which is a lot worse.
1 year after he became president, Egypt's economy is in tatters, and the rebellion of the country's police force has resulted in a breakdown of law and order. Retired Egyptian General Sama Saif al-Yazal told us that the country's all-powerful military had no choice but to step in.
He was democratically elected in a fair election. He won.
Absolutely
he has
right.
a right to finish his term.
I'm raising a hand. Yes, you are right. He is right. But do you want me to wait until we see our country completely collapsed?
This past Monday, the army issued Morsi with an ultimatum: meet the needs of the Egyptian people within 48 hours or the military will intervene. 2 days later, they made good on their promise. Morsi was out. But while the protesters called it a triumph of the will of the people, Morsi supporters called it a coup. That's my president, that's my president, this man shouted. The military began a crackdown on the Muslim Brotherhood. The group's spokesman Gahad al-Haddad warned us that Morsi's supporters would not back down.
The military is trying to dismantle the Brotherhood machine and the Brotherhood organization, apparently for fear that if they actually hold the presidential election, we might show up for it and we might win it again.
On Friday, the group called for a day of rejection of the military's takeover. Protests turned to clashes which spread throughout the city and the country. By the end of the night, dozens were dead.
The only thing that we have is the will of the people, nothing more. And the only thing that they have is the power of the tanks. It will fail.
Whether or not this next chapter is successful depends largely on how quickly the country's interim president, Adli Mansour, can appoint a prime minister, form a new government, and organize for a new presidential election to be held.
But General al-Yazal conceded that there is no obvious leader waiting in the wings.
None of them, I think, are qualified from my point of view. I don't want to see any one of these leaders, for the time being, to be my president.
A frightening reality for a country that is now deeply divided and bracing itself for more protests.